Armada Kickoff is brought to you by Community First Credit Union, Winn-Dixie, Baptist Health, Bowden Eye and Associates, Brumos Automotive, and Coastal Spine and Pain Center.
Hello and welcome into Armada Kickoff. The Armada riding high after a 1-0 victory over Indy last week, now in second place, and nobody has scored more goals this season than the Armada. Coming up, highlights from Saturday's match and a look at how the Armada managed to control the game even when playing a man down.
We'll also hear from goalkeeper Miguel Gallardo, who for the second straight week closed out a victory with some pretty big saves. Plus, we look ahead to Saturday's match in Atlanta and we explore the Twitterverse to see what Armada players and supporters are saying on social media.
And of course, we'll have Bob's Bootroom and the Analysts Roundtable, but we start with last Saturday's momentous victory. And I say momentous because with the win, the Armada suddenly have made sure that the entire NASL is taking note. They did it in front of a near-capacity crowd at Community First Park. Playing just a day after learning of the passing of Holden Dillard, Guillermo Hoyos' team, fueled by emotion on Saturday, didn't take long for the Armada attack to appear. Look at the passing. It winds up in the box. First, it's Bochi Hoyos, and then Jamal Johnson will get a shot off. Nothing came of it here, but it served notice in the second minute that the Armada were ready to play. 12th minute now. Look at the passing here. Nice little flick on by Marcos Flores to Keita. Led to one of 9 first-half corner kicks for the Armada. Then a potentially game-changing moment. Keita hit in the head by an Indy elbow. He would go down and leave the field. The Armada would play 10 versus 11 for over 12 minutes. More on that in just a bit. It did not slow down the Armada, though. Watch Flores from the seat of his pants with a little pass here. Oh, how good is that? And Lucas Scaglia gets the shot off in the 27th minute. Even playing a man down, the Armada were dictating the tempo. Second half now, 49th minute. Keita back on the side. He slides one into Matt Boehner. Boehner would go to the corner and then cross one toward Bochi Hoyos right on the doorstep. The header gives the Armada the 1-0 lead. The celebration is on. Second goal of the year for Hoyos and Boehner's first assist. Take another look. It appears that Boehner's pass actually deflects off an Indy foot, and Hoyos makes a terrific adjustment to put it in for the goal. Look at this angle here. Had to lean all the way back to get it in. Now 65th minute, Guillermo Hoyos starting to think about getting defensive. He subs in Nerden Rustage. By the 85th minute, the Armada have 5 defenders on the pitch. It's still 1-0, and the Jacksonville defense and goalkeeper Miguel Gallardo come up big here. Watch Gallardo come all the way back. Matt Boehner may have been able to head it, but instead Gallardo taps it over the top. As you take another look, Gallardo came up big in the closing moments of this one. 95th minute, Gallardo again. Jacksonville improves to 3 wins, 2 defeats, 9 points from 3 home matches in the 1-0 victory over Indy.
Our fans, they deserve these kind of games every single time. First the effort, our heart, and then, trying to play and build every time a beautiful football. But today was really tough,
we have a target to be champions, and another win at home is what we were expecting and what we wanted. So, we're all really happy. Away games in this league are always tough. We love being at home, but we're on a little bit of a roll now. We got 2 in a row, and we just need to keep that momentum on the road and, just play our game and, hopefully the results will come.
As we take a look at the numbers, you see the shots were even, as were shots on goal. The Armada had a real advantage in corner kicks in the first half. Then Indy changed their tactics in the second, particularly after that goal. Hoyos with his second goal of the season, and both Hoyos and Miguel Gallardo make the NASL Team of the Week.
Saturday's Fair and Fair man of the match went to Cincinnati, Ohio-born defender Matt Boehner. Not only did Boehner play a key role in the Armada defense, but in the offense as well, making several great runs and had a few shots on goal. He created opportunities throughout the match, including this key cross into the box that led to Bochi Hoyos' header to win the match. Some upcoming matches to know. The Armada is away this weekend and the next with matches in Atlanta and Minnesota. And the Boys in Blue return to Community First Park on May 30th to take on the Carolina Railhawks. Then on June 7th, they match up against Ottawa Fury for a Sunday match beginning at 4 p.m. The spring season then ends on June 13th with a match in New York against the Cosmos. The Armada is hosting watch parties for these upcoming away matches. Tomorrow against Atlanta, the watch party will be held at Lynch's Irish Pub in Jacksonville Beach. Then on May 23rd, for the match against the Loons of Minnesota United, the watch party will be held at the Laura Street Trio in downtown as a part of Jazz Fest After Dark. Both watch parties will begin at 7 p.m.
Goalkeeper Miguel Gallardo recorded his first clean sheet of the season after 7 saves on Saturday night. But it didn't come easy. Krissty Andaur tells us more.
With the risk and reward system the Armada has implemented, there's a lot more added pressure on the goalkeeper. So how exactly does Miguel Gallardo handle it?
Well, I try to stay as calm as I can. I know everybody else is probably close to having a heart attack, but that's part of being a goalkeeper. You have to stay calm, and the best that I can achieve that, the more it's going to help my team. So it's definitely nerve-wracking. I can see the fans and, even some of my teammates, but that's just the risky style we play, and sometimes it's going to be beneficial, hopefully more times than it's going to affect us. So we got to stick to our plan, and we got to stay loyal to the identity that we're trying to build, and we just got to deal with the consequences.
And so far, the Armada has seen success, and as a leader, Gallardo was rather pleased with the results.
I thought we played a really good game, especially the first 15 minutes. I think that their intensity levels were really high. Unfortunately, when Keita came off, it kind of slowed us down a little bit, but I'm proud of the guys that we were able to manage the game, completely adapt to the situation. So overall, I think we had a really good match. There's still a few things to fix, but obviously it was good enough to get the 3 points.
It seems to be working at home, but can it work this weekend against Atlanta?
I think it's key that we stick to our game plan. We are a team that people around the country are beginning to talk about our style. They're beginning to talk about our ball possession, and it's going to be important for us to stick to our game plan because it's obviously what's giving us dividends. So I think that if we go out there to try to look for a result and maybe just hold and play for the counterattack, we may not be successful. So I think we practice every day in attacking style, and that's what we need to go play in attacking style as well.
In addition to getting the win on Saturday, the Armada also learned a valuable lesson about what they could accomplish even while playing shorthanded. Cole has more.
Perhaps the key stretch in Saturday's victory came when the Armada's center forward Keita was elbowed in the head. Keita had to go off into the locker room to be examined. A gash on his head had to be attended to, and they had to check for a possible concussion. For more than 12 minutes of play, the Armada played 10v11. You might expect that a man down, the Armada would be more conservative, but in truth, they continue to be the more attack-minded team during that stretch.
I think what was important is that we try to work together as a unit. We picked and choose when to step out and pressure the ball, which I think was what the coaching staff wanted us to do.
Here's a great example of that approach. Watch the Armada control the ball and continue to keep the pressure on Indy.
I mean, remember, we have a team who's skillful, and then everybody's in the team. We work for each other, we work for each other, and we know what we expect.
It was a change in tactic that Pascal Million says didn't have to be explained from the sideline because the coaching staff had been working on just such an occasion during training.
In that situation, that's the perfect time. Everybody just switch on right away, soon that happens. So I think that the credit is everybody, Coach don't have to tell us. Everybody, we automatically say, hey, everybody drop back, so we need to without what it meant. So
by the time Keita re-entered the match in the 28th minute, the match was still level, but the Armada had shown Indy that Jacksonville was the team that would dictate the pace of play. The Armada face Atlanta on Saturday, the first regular season game that the Armada will play outside the state of Florida. Atlanta comes in on 7 points with a record of 1 win, 4 draws, and 1 defeat. They've scored only 4 goals this year compared to the 9 scored by the Armada, but they've allowed only 4 goals themselves, second best in the league. Also of note, Atlanta plays their home matches on an artificial turf field, one of 3 such surfaces in the league. Now here's a great way to get your Armada fix, the Kraken Pack. Choose one of 2 packs, 8 matches, just $88, with both packs including matches against the New York Cosmos and the Fort Lauderdale Strikers, plus 6 other NASL fixtures. Call 844-2-ARMADA or purchase online at armadafc.com. Straight ahead, highlights from around the NASL and a look at the standings.
And Bob Veal joins us for Bob's Boot Room. Stick around, more Armada Kickoff is straight ahead.
Hey, you can still get Armada season tickets. Interest-free monthly payment plans still apply. They get prorated for the remaining matches, so still plenty of action to get in on at Community First Park. You also get invitations to special season ticket owner-only events and the best price anywhere. Tickets start from just $10 per match. Call 844-2-ARMADA or online at armadafc.com. Now halfway through the spring season, the contenders are beginning to emerge, and it's quickly becoming time to make a move for some mid-table teams. Let's go around the NASL.
Let's start in Canada, where a warm day in Ottawa saw a cold day for the attack for both the Fury and the Tampa Bay Rowdies. Each team managed just 2 shots on goal in a 0-0 draw. As a result, Tampa Bay goes to 9 points on the season and loses ground to first-place New York. Speaking of the Cosmos, the usually defensive-minded side took care of Edmonton in New York. What a week for Carlos Mendez. He became a father early in the week, and then he proceeds to score not once, but twice in the Cosmos 4-2 victory. New York remains atop the table. Minnesota United hosting the next opponent for the Armada, the Atlanta Silverbacks. A sellout in Minnesota saw Miguel Ibarra find Pablo Campos in the 44th minute. That would be all the scoring in the match. 1-0 Minnesota wins as the Silverbacks lose for the first time this season. They're on 7 points as they head back to Atlanta to prepare for the Armada, who invade on Saturday. And over 7,000 on hand to see the defending NASL champions finally get in the win column. Bright DK came off the bench and scored his first for San Antonio. Carolina was playing without their leading scorer, Nacho Novo, and they could not find the net. Scorpions beat the Railhawks 1-0.
So here's a look at the league table after last weekend's action. The Cosmos are on top, but the Armada actually hold their destiny in their own hands because they have a game in hand on New York. If the Armada win out, that would include a victory against the Cosmos at the end of the spring season. And if the Armada win all their games, they win the spring season. Rest of the league, you have Tampa and Fort Lauderdale trailing right behind, so those 3 Florida teams doing very well. This weekend's opponent, Atlanta, right behind. Then you look at the bottom of the table, Minnesota United got the victory now with 6 points. That's a side to watch, particularly as the fall approaches, and that'll be the next opponent after Atlanta for the Armada. And the San Antonio Scorpions finally get off the schneid, 4 points for the defending champions. Now let's head to Bob's Boot Room, presented by Nike. Here are Bob Veal and Krissty Andaur.
Thank you, Cole. Bob, earlier you mentioned 2 players that you want to focus on, Matt Boehner and Marcos Flores. Why?
Yeah, I want to look at their contribution to the game. There were great contributions from all the players, but I want to see and look at just those 2.
Okay.
And Boehner, more about him getting forward and getting into the 18-yard box. He was told to do that, and he did it extremely well. And Flores, just the flicks and the little through balls he puts in, the position he gets to. So let's start with Matt Boehner. This was very early on, I mean, a minute 32. And there's Matt Boehner up into their third, and he's still there. He's playing a ball there, getting a foul, and up into their quarter. And look at where he is on this one. He takes a shot 5 minutes into the game. He's in the 18-yard box and just off the 6-yard box. So that's really playing high. And here, look where he is again. He gets this is Cater, I think, that wins the ball there, and a little flick out to...
I mean, look how high up he is.
Yeah, and now look at Boehner running into the 18-yard box as a defender. He's our right back, but he was told to do this, and he did it extremely well. And here we have another clip of...
this is where the goal comes in.
Yeah, this is the goal where he takes it down the right-hand side. Let's see it in its entirety, and there Butchie Hoyers heads it in. Let's see that again, and this will be closer up, and you'll see that the cross he puts in has... a deflection on it. There, stop.
There.
You see the ball was deflected? I think that ball was going to the goalkeeper. And when I talk about luck in soccer,
this is
that
a great
is just
example.
it. The defender came in, got a deflection, came to Hoyes, and he headed it in. So, great play.
All right, Bob, so now let's take a look at Marcos Flores and what he did.
Yeah, just his little flicks and movements.
Absolutely.
Here you'll see it, and this is him on the ball, spooks that player, great through ball. Let's have a look at another one of where he is in this play. There, great through ball to Cater. He takes the 1-2 to the sideline, and another Flores great ball. Let's look at another play, and you'll see him come through here, collects the ball. There he is, collects it, chest down, beats the player coming on, and there again, puts a great ball, and he's willing to play it back. Now this one, Hal Cater did not convert that ball. It was a great ball inside the defender, not converted.
Right. Well, thank you so much, Bob. The Armada have won 2 straight games so far to put them in 2nd place in the current standings. And of course, they look to keep going this weekend in Atlanta. Cole?
Thanks, guys. Straight ahead, we'll ask our analysts if the Armada can keep it going this week. Stick around. Armada Kickoff rolls on.
The Armada Social Rewards program is a great way to stay connected with the team via social media. Just go online at armadasocialrewards.com, create an account, and start earning free gifts like jerseys, scarves, and even tickets to future matches. Each week, we pick a random winner, and congratulations to Christian Cordoba. You've won 2 tickets to the Armada match against Carolina Railhawks. And now let's head over to the roundtable presented by Subway. Cole?
Players that you can switch around, and we're going to be very strong.
We saw a lot of different players, a lot of different lineups.
All right, thank you, Krissty. Time now for the Analysts Roundtable presented by Subway. Mauricio, Ruiz, and David Hayes are here. Before we get into what the Armada have done, Mauricio, you just a week or so ago were up in Seattle for the Seattle-Portland matchup. Maybe the best atmosphere in American soccer in terms of clubs matching up. Tell me about that experience.
I think it's definitely the best atmosphere in American soccer. Any rivals, any world stage atmosphere as well. I mean, the Sounders have been around since the 70s. And it's become a sport of the city. You know, I mean, they're in line with the Seahawks, but I'll venture to say that's a better experience than the Seahawks is, just because the pregame, the walkout, is just an unbelievable. The players, the citizens of the city, they feel like the Sounders just is a part of them. So I mean, it's one of the best things I've ever seen.
And they don't call for a pass on 3rd and goal from the 1-yard line of the Super Bowl. David, you played in these Seattle-Portland matchups when you were a member of the Portland Timbers. That's really what everybody looks at and say, hey, how can we make a rivalry that matters like it? What was it like as a player?
Oh, it's amazing when the fans have just as much passion as you are, because I've been playing this sport since I was 4 years old, so I love it, right? And then when they possess that, not only do you walk down the street and they know who you are, they know the opponent's names, they know everything, and that just right there is just, for soccer players, amazing feeling.
All right, let's spend some time talking about the Armada here. They've gotten it done at home. They've won all 3 of their home matches. They have not won on the road, although they've had some good performances. What's it going to take in Atlanta?
I think we need points. I think we need points on the road. I think that's what we talked about in the beginning of the year. Our coaching staff getting familiar with our division, with our conference, is the fact that winning on the road, getting a point on the road is a win. So I think getting a tie and playing for a tie on the road, obviously you want to win, but if you're in a situation to get a point, I think that's a positive thing for us.
See, I think at home, I mean, we won this past weekend, but I think we went defensive too early. But I think we need to learn how to play a little bit better on the road, to be a little bit more defensive on the road at first, maybe counterattack. I don't know if we can play the same style that we do at home on the road. I think if we change that, then we'll start getting points.
Keep in mind, as I said earlier, the Armada hold their spring destiny in their hands. They win out, they win the spring.
Absolutely.
So it's a tantalizing opportunity there for the Armada. Speaking of the spring, it's a 10-game spring season, 20 matches in the fall. Do you need to get guys playing time?
I think if there's a healthy balance, I think you got to continue to get your team, your top 11 to 13 guys as acclimated, and the energy together as much as possible. But in any competition, there's going to be injuries. There's going to be moments that you're not going to international call-ups. So as much as your reserves have experience, I think it's positive. So the coaches, I think right now they're doing a pretty good job of giving guys some time.
And let's remember that Fabricio Ortiz has 4 yellow cards. The next one, he gets a 1-game suspension. So, David, they've got to feel comfortable with what they would do if he misses a game.
Well, yeah, I mean, you do need to get players time. You look at Flores, you look at Keita, all those guys took big knocks, and they're taking knocks by big defenders, and there are going to be injuries. But you still need your backbone players to still play.
Mauricio Ruiz, David Hayes, thanks so much. All right, straight ahead, we'll hear what the players are saying about Saturday's match in Atlanta. Stick around. More Armada Kickoff is straight ahead. Single match tickets are available for the remaining spring home fixtures. 2 weeks from tomorrow against Carolina, the Railhawks in town. And the following Saturday against Miguel Ibarra and Minnesota United. Tickets start at just $14 on single match tickets. Call 844-2-ARMADA or online at armadafc.com. Now, here's what some of the Armada players are saying about Saturday's matchup in Atlanta with the Silverbacks.
I mean, it's time for us to get the points on the road, you know. I mean, we have 9 points now, so it's a good feeling. I think the confidence-wise, you know, that we get this in the world, like, we have to get the points, you know. So we know who's going to play in the tough field, you know, turf, and Atlanta team. They don't have a bad team, but we got to get the points. That's all matters. 3 points is we have to get it. So we're just going to, hopefully, then everybody's in the mindset and bring the 3 points home.
I think actually we are going the right path. Whether we have lost games in the past, which is true, but I think that we could have lost 5-6-0, and that wasn't the case. I think we got a bit unlucky in some of the games that we lost. So just continue the path that we're going. I think the team has been improving slowly, I would like to say, and just having that mentality of trying to refuse to lose.
It's a 10-season championship, you know, and every game is important. You know, if you lose one game, you can go to the bottom of the table. If you win one game, you can climb, you know, substantially. So it's important to remind the guys of how important every single game is, and we're gonna go to Atlanta and try to get the 3 points.
The Armada players are very active on social media, and it's really just a great way to stay connected with them. Lindsay DiNapoli shared a photo of her daughter and Sean Nicklaw after the team finished up their training session Monday night at Clay County Soccer Club. Miguel Gallardo pressuring his teammates, if you break it, you pay for it, at a Key Auto Company commercial shoot. After Saturday night's match, Matt Boehner shared how proud he was of his team. And Paul Dillard, father of Holden Dillard, an Armada FC fan that passed away last week, shared his sincere appreciation and love for the Armada and, of course, Miguel Gallardo.
All right, our coverage of the Armada in Atlanta to face the Silverbacks begins Saturday, 7 o'clock. Kickoff at 7:30. Remember, you get the latest on the Armada online at armadafc.com and on radio with the Armada Soccer Show Fridays at 3 on Sports Radio 930. You can also hear the Armada Monday podcast every Monday with Bob and me on armadafc.com.
And don't forget, if you can't make the match over in Atlanta, there's a watch party at Lynch's Irish Pub in Jacksonville Beach tomorrow at 7 p.m. Thanks for joining us. I'm Krissty Andaur.
And I'm Cole Pepper. See you next time.